Hey everyone, Once Bitten with another Warhammer Battle Report. These are my Beastmen versus a Lizardmen army. We got the dawn attack scenario, which explains a little bit of some of the deployment. But here on my far left, he's got a Skink and Kroxigor unit, a unit of Temple Guard with his Slann, who's a general, and he also has a battle standard bearer in there. And at the moment, I'm blanking on what lore the general had, although I think it was life. I'm just not positive. Then on the far right, he's got a level 2 caster who has the Lore of Heavens. He's got, well, we can see it there as well as here, 2 units of Saurus Warriors. He's got some more Skink and Kroxigors, and then he's got 2 Salamander units. Then he also has 2 Chameleon Skink units. Here, one on my far right, one on my far left. So I had to deploy first, and I just, rolled and put my stuff down and wasn't thinking about chameleon skinks or anything like that. Not sure what I would have done differently. But here, because my general's unit as well as that Minotaur unit both got on the right flank, I decided, well, they're on the left. I've got the Gores, my generals in the front left corner, and then the Minotaurs, the front left of them, is my battle standard bearer. I thought it might be better to go ahead and have them behind my line so they didn't get drawn out because they're frenzied, and hopefully could make it into combats as I needed it. So anyway, and then kind of behind them and closer to the house, I have a level 1 who also rolled on the far right side. Got 36 Bestigors. I have my level 4 with the Lore of Death. There at the very bottom right of this picture is the Herdstone. I've got 2 Tuscarora chariots, and then I've got my bigger Gore unit. This one has 36 models in it, or yeah. And then there's a Razor Gore, and then you can see his Chameleon Skinks who came in on my left. So Beastman turn 1, really I just moved up as fast as I could with my troops. I took my Razor Gore on the left and turned him to try to deal with those Chameleon Skinks. I took one of my Tuscarora chariots and moved it to deal with the other Chameleon Skinks. Yeah, there you go. That shows, I'm not going to get a charge next turn, but at least I have something to deal with it back there. So here you can see, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I moved my general out of the Gore unit on the right and in with my Bestigors. And my level 4 with the Lore of Death I put in with the unit of Bestigors. And otherwise I just tried to move my level 1s as close as possible to the Herdstone. Yeah, I didn't need this guy getting shot at by Chameleon Skinks. So we go to Lizardmen turn 1, and you can see he really just hangs back with his fighting troops. He moves up with the Salamanders. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so he's just going to shoot at me. Those Salamanders, those are vicious, vicious units there. And the Skinks aren't a huge problem back here. They're just more of a thorn in my side. So just another view of the board. And on the left side. So after shooting, I lost 4 of the Gores and I lost 8 of the Bestigors. So nothing I love to see, but I don't know what odds are on that, but I really was worried that I would lose more than that even. During the magic phase, he picked off several more Bestigors. He picked off a couple of the Gore unit on the left, and then he put the Comet. You can barely see it because of that piece of terrain, but there's a Comet right there that could go off at any time. So that's, that could be fun. And also during, I don't know if it was shooting or magic or whatever it was, but my Razor Gore got killed. So I turned my other chariot around. This says Lizardman turn 1. My guess is that's actually Beastman turn 2. So I turned my Tuscarora around to deal with those Chameleon Skinks. And he really just had a bunch of failed charges. His Salamanders were so close, I just charged them, and he just fled with them all the way around. And so my guys just kind of stranded, really didn't make much progress. And it's just going to buy him more time to magic me. Now, if you look at in the middle of it, those 2 markers. Now the comet did not go off, so now there's 2 markers on that comet, and that's when I realized it was really foolish to declare a charge with the Bestigor unit. It'd be better just to march ahead as fast as possible. So, second game in a row of really not doing stuff that needs to be done. Chameleon Skinks moved up just a little bit. I forgot Look, I think they shot at my Minotaurs and killed one of them. Something killed one of my Minotaurs, I think. And then just moves around over here. Now, during his magic phase, this is my leftmost gore unit. It started off with 36. I think he got Dwellers Below. He got one of those kind of spells off, whatever lore he has, I just forget, and just decimated the unit. Went from 36 to 12. Or he picked off a couple of them, but for the most part, it went from 36 to 12. And so now this unit that's on my far left flank is virtually useless. And the only good news about it is he also blew up about half of his own unit. So my thinking was, his Skink Croc Score unit is getting ready to charge that Gore unit. So on my turn, I think I'm just going to charge him here and try to get off a couple of buff spells of my guys. And I might be able to really swing this. If I can get the spells, the buffs off, if I can get lucky with some combats, I might be able to pick off his this unit. If I can break the unit, run down the Slon. I mean, he's down to relatively few people here. So on my turn, that's what I did. My Gore and Best Score units charged ahead and failed their charges again. And there's 3 Comet tokens there now, really starting to scare me. This Chariot did charge the Chameleon Skinks, so I need him to win and overrun far enough to get out of his Croxagore's line of sight. Or I guess if nothing else, make it so that if he comes to get me, it takes him out of the battle. I did make the charge with this unit. I was really excited about it. It's only going to work if I can get some buffs on him. If I get 2 of the +1 strength and +1 strength and toughness buffs, that makes a big difference with that combat. The bad news is all game long I got very, very few magic spells off. I couldn't get past it for whatever reason. I couldn't get a spell off. So here's the far right side with a stand and shoot, do a couple wounds to my chariot, but I make it in. Pretty confident I'm going to win that. Yeah, here's my failed charges. 4 tokens on the Comet. Chameleon Skink's dead. That's nice. The Chameleon Skinks down here are dead. And it really worked out as well as I could have hoped. If he charges me with the Crocs, I'm just going to stand there, because otherwise I'm going to run off the board anyway, and I might be able to get him to where he's all the way at this side of the table and really out of the action. And yeah, I didn't get my buffs off, and if you look at that, I don't think I did a single wound. Maybe I killed 1, and he just tore my guys up. So yeah, that plan didn't work at all in the slightest. So Lizardmen turn 3, he charges in with both of his source units, and I'm actually kind of happy for that. Like, let's go, let's fight. I've got a Beast Lord in there, all my Bestigors, and that's what they're designed for, so let's see how it works. His Croc Scores do charge my chariot, and he's going to slaughter me. There's a close-up there. Now, my general has the Crown of Command, so that unit's going to be stubborn. So even if he wins combat, that's okay. I should hold, and I've got a flank charge on my next turn. And those are 2 units in front of me, not just 1. So I did much better on the right unit than the left. The problem is, on his magic phase, he got off the spell from the Lore of Heavens that allows him to re-roll 1s. And I don't know statistically what happened or what should have happened, but I can tell you my impression was that he rolled insanely well. Yeah. So anyway, re-rolling 1s certainly helps. It's a good spell to get off. He tore my guys up, and I did some wounds on him, but that battle really did not go the way I'd hoped. So we move to Beastmen turn 4. I get the flank charge with my Gores. I bring the Minotaurs around, because I really think what's going to happen, well, one of 2 things is going to happen. If he continues to beat up on my Bestigors, it's going to open up space that my Minotaurs can charge in next turn. And if not, then that means it went good for me, and I'll just get closer to a Slon's unit. So the chariot that beat the Chameleon Skinks on the right tries to come back to the combat. Here's hoping I can get some buffs off here and do something there, and nothing. Yeah. No, really, it happened like that. Yeah, so Gores come in the flank, do nothing, get beaten in combat, and bounce away. My Bestigors have been killed almost to a man after 2 rounds of combat, and luckily my general's stubborn. Just dismal performance. Awful, horrible. So on his turn, the Croxes continue to chase my Gores away. The Salamander units that fled earlier, this one rallied. Yeah. Otherwise, now he's bringing his Temple Guard closer to the action. Kills all of my Bestigors. Absolutely abysmal performance. I've had 2 games in a row where those Bestigors did nothing for me. So I've got my Lord. He hasn't even been attacking him. He's there in full wounds, stubborn. I've got my level 4 Great Bray Shaman, who's has 2 wounds remaining. Yeah. So we go to Beastmen turn 5. The Minotaurs charge in there, so at least I don't have a whole lot of combat res, but I'm hoping to get a lot of attacks at least. Hoping. And yeah, that would be 7 wounds done on my Minotaurs and very, very few done on him. Maybe a couple, 2 or 3. Just absolutely miserable. The Temple Guard coming to the flank of the Minotaurs. At this point, obviously the game's gone. My Gors rally on the right. The Croc Scores come up to start threatening my level 1s, but that's not really going to matter. This one, actually, the lighting got weird and my flash went off. I actually thought it turned out pretty cool. But that's before combat. That's my Gors rallying, getting ready to face that charge. And after combat, Great Brave Shaman's dead. My general's sitting there all alone. Minotaurs get beaten to a pulp with the one musician remaining, who's going to need double 1s to rally. And we just called it. It was the end of turn 5. There's no reason to go on. That was just absolutely 2 drubbings in a row of my Beastmen. So, yeah, I don't know what to really say much more than what I said at the end of last game. My list certainly has a bunch of weaknesses. I'm really unhappy with the performance of the Bestigors. I don't know, against a magic-heavy opponent, I've been unable to get the buffs off, and my army relies on getting buffs at key moments. I need the +1 strength and buffness on my Gore units, or else they do no good whatsoever. And I just couldn't get them. So anyway, that was a fun game. Hope you enjoyed it.